What's up, everybody? It's HBT with the Straight Up Wrestling Show, guys. Man, let's talk about a few things here, guys. Let's talk about a few things. Man, today in wrestling, I just feel bad for the wrestlers. Today's wrestling world, I feel bad for the wrestlers, guys. Man, they have so much that they have to contend with. Pretty much going to a promotion and work, you have to trust the promoter and you have to trust the booker. I feel bad for a lot of these wrestlers because basically, when it boils down to it, you are putting your career in their hands, man. You're putting your career in their hands, especially if you're a very, very, very good talent and you decide to go work for a promotion. You don't know how how they're going to treat you in the long run. You might have some of them that may put you over, and then you have some of them, that's going to have you lose, and then they're going to, probably bring you back and have you lose again. And then you might have to go to another promotion. Now, right now, I'm talking about indie wrestlers, guys. Now, I'm talking about the indie wrestling scene. I've seen so many people on the indie wrestling scene go from show to show, and they may be very good somewhere. I mean, you might have them at one place they're very good at, and then they might go wrestle 10, 12, 15 miles down the road somewhere, and they're losing. And and this person is a very good wrestler, can make it to the next level. So when you look at that aspect of the game, guys, you have to really feel bad for these wrestlers. And hey, because look, I'm telling you, I'm putting it on promoters and I'm putting it on bookers. Even if they in that same county or they in the same vicinity, like, Chris and myself, which we have done so many shows up in South Carolina, North Carolina. I'm talking about, upstate South Carolina, western North Carolina, and out in Georgia. And we've seen certain wrestlers go from place to place to, different promotions. And as far as the promotions we've been to like 15 different promotions. And we've seen certain wrestlers, man, they can dominate in 13 of them. And then you see 2 of them that they go to, they're losing. And all these promotions is within 80-mile radius, man. 80, 85-mile radius. There's sometimes 100-mile radius. It depends. Because we go with the farthest we done went up into we done went deep into Atlanta and went into pretty much the southern part of Georgia. So we've seen a lot of wrestlers between South Carolina, North Carolina, and Georgia. And a lot of these fans, you see a lot of these same fans go to these independent shows. They'll go to these different independent shows, and when it boils down to it, man, it can hurt you. It can hurt you if you're not being handled right at these promotions. Straight up, man. And like I said, guys, right now I'm talking about indies. And hey, we're going to get into that WWE and AEW because, look, there's a lot of talented wrestlers that I see that's on the scene, man. Lots of talented wrestlers that I've seen, since we've been doing the Straight Up Wrestling Show. In the almost 3 years that we've been doing this, I've seen so many wrestlers that's come in the game, man, that pretty much should be put over, who's kept down, who's pretty much stomped down, and hey, that affects your career, man. It does. And the sad part about it is now you don't have nowhere to go. That was the good thing about the regional promotions back in the days, guys. If once they was finished with you in one region or whatever, you might have been a star somewhere, and basically, they ran out of ideas, or they wanted you to move on because you did as much as possible at in that region or whatever. So they wanted you to move on. So they may send you might be in the Carolinas, they may send you to Georgia Championship Wrestling. After Georgia Championship Wrestling is done with you, they may send you to Portland or somewhere like that. So you had different places you could go. You can roll back to Tennessee and get over in those different territories. And you still was, getting that worldwide recognition, and they paid good. Back then, man, wrestling was very popular, and those regional territories paid good if you was a star. Even if you wasn't a star. I know a lot of guys, man, who was jobbers that got paid very well, very well. So, but that was the good thing that was one of the great things about the regional promotions. is that these guys could go to different places pretty much to get themselves, to reestablish themselves. But today, man, we don't have that. If AEW or WWE, if they pretty much ruin your career, if they smash it in the dirt or whatever, man, you don't have too many options. And that's to be, that's to be honest with, that's to be straight up with the assessment of what's going on today. You don't have too many options. If you go over to AEW, and I know WWE has picked up certain people from AEW who went over to AEW, who came from the WWE, and they went over to AEW, and they was just mid-card status, a low mid-card status. Look at Andrade. Andrade should have been one of the top 5 players over there in AEW, if you ask me. They should have taken this man, and they should have put him in championship contendership right off the bat and kept him there. But, they pretty much messed that up, and now he's back over in WWE. Now, I don't know what WWE is going to do with him, because when he went over to AEW, all that did was pretty much hurt him. It hurt his career, man. I mean, when you got to look at this whole thing for what it is. It hurt his career. He didn't go over there. He didn't win no titles over there. He didn't make no inroads over there. Now he did over in Mexico, man, over in, Triple A, so he did do well there. But, man, how much consideration this WWE is going to take that and say, okay, you went over there and you made you went over there and you did something very, very strong or whatever. You made a case for yourself. But how much of the American fan base was watching that, was checking that out, have seen that? Now, we all know Andrade is a great talent, but, how, are they going to really respect that? Now, Andrade, he has an in with Charlotte being his wife, and plus he's been there before, and they know he's very talented. But, man, that's all I got to say is really that, yeah, you are in, you're in peril when it boils down to it. You're a wrestler today. Because, man, and it's always been like that. It's always been like that. But what I'm saying is, if you have a lot of talent, you don't know what in the world they're going to do with you. They could crush you. They could destroy you. And, I mean, this right here is your livelihood. And wrestlers, man, these wrestlers depend on these guys, and they trust them. And they go to these promoters, and they tell them, oh, we're going to do this, we're going to do that, and these bookers or whatever. And then next thing you know, they crush them. So, pretty much their career is in their hands. Man, it's outrageous. And even when you have wrestlers out here like LA Knight, people that did everything they could to get themselves over. And just to see themselves get pushed all the way back to mid-card status. And then maybe brought back up for just a little while. Guys, it can get flat out crazy. It can get flat out crazy, guys. But I'm on the road. Give me just a moment. But hey, if you are checking us out, man, give us a like, share, subscribe, hit that notification bell if you're on YouTube. You're on Facebook, hit that like, share, join. If you are listening to this anywhere else, man, anywhere else that we put this podcast on, man, put this show on, guys, go ahead and hit that like button and share straight up.